Hey friends, you're watching BrainStormAcres. I'm Henry. Well, you probably saw in a recent video that I had to do a little bit of work on the water system here in the utility building because the water was leaking down back through the backflow prevention valve. I replaced that valve and that worked well. However, at the time I said that I was going to have to replace a bunch of this plumbing because I needed to put a strainer in. And I didn't want to do that until I actually had the strainer in hand. So, today's job is take it all apart. Oh, by the way, you may notice, you may not be able to notice, I have some stains on my shirt. Now this is an old t-shirt. It has some yellow stain on it. It's from the pipe dope that I used on the threads to seal this up. I continue to use it because this stuff is oil-based. Could I take it out with on a WD-40 or something like that? Yeah, I could. But it's a multi-step process, and this shirt is really not good for anything besides being used on the homestead, so that's what I'm going to do. And before I start tearing all this piping apart, I'm going to turn the pump on to pump up the pressure tank I have over here. This pressure tank will give us about 40 gallons of water that will supply the house. And one of the reasons why I chose this size is because if we have a problem, say we lose power and can't run the electric pump, or like today I need to replace some piping, I can still supply water to the house and make it not inconvenient for anything that's going on in the house. So now the pressure gauge is leaking down now. It's not because of this backflow prevention valve. Now it's because I have massive leaks here on the pump where the male adapter goes into the pump itself. So that all has to come apart. And we'll talk about why that happens. So now to start disassembling, first I have to turn off the water. Now I've turned off the water to this entire system. There's a control valve down here at the bottom that turns off the connection to the tanks that are up the hill. The tank is about 4 feet above the floor of this utility building, so it's up about here. So if I didn't turn off the water, we'd have water flooding the utility building. Now you could ask me how I know, but I bet you can guess. Time to get wet. You may remember I have a couple of unions here, one up here on top and one down on the bottom, so that I can take this apart. There's not a lot of water in this piece, so all we're trying to drain is from here through the pump and out here. What's going to happen when I pull the union off down here on the bottom is there's going to be a lot more water because there's a lot more pipe, and it's a bigger diameter pipe. And it's water time. And yes, I did get wet. 2 ways. The way I'm going to fix this water system is I'm going to remove the check valve that I have right here. I'll be pulling that off. I'll be attaching an adapter to this male pipe nipple because I don't want to replace this elbow plus the union down here because that union is expensive. It's about $22. So rather than replacing it, which has been fine, I'm just going to go ahead and add the additional coupler here, the additional fitting here. I'll take this entire piece off right here and the piece that goes into the pump. So I'll bring you back when that's all done. Now, one of the reasons why I'm taking this piece of the system apart is, you'll see right here, there's all kinds of rust buildup. That's from this pipe shaking when the pump was turning off and on really fast. Sometimes it's called short cycling. Yeah, it's kind of short cycling, but it's not caused by the usual reason that people think short cycling happens. So I'm going to be replacing this nipple right here because if you look at it, the threads have shrunk in because the pump got a little hot, and that causes the PVC to shrink. Well, I have plenty of tools here on the homestead. I don't always have the exact right one that I need, but I have lots of tools. Some got up and walked away with people who came in to do some temporary work for me. Others just disappeared of their own volition. But one thing I didn't have that I was willing to risk is I did not have a wire brush that I could use to clean out the threads in this pump. It's really important because there's rust buildup, and I'll want to make sure that the rust is taken care of. It's really difficult to see in here because there's not room. There's really not room to get in there at all. I'm going to see if I can get in to take a quick peek. There's definitely some corrosion on the threads of this pump. I'm going to keep on using this wire brush until I can get as much of the rust out as I can. You may be wondering how long will this pressure tank last before I have to run more water, run the water pump some more. And the answer is, it all depends. At this time of day, it can last pretty long because really we use it for hand washing, flushing the toilet, and maybe a little bit of cleanup in the kitchen. The irrigation runs in the morning, so that's already done. So now I don't have as much of a pressure to get this done really quick. If this were at 6 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning, I'd be having to rush like crazy. Well, I'll bring you back when I get some of this done. Good morning. Welcome back to My Plumbing Nightmare. Oh, in the middle of getting ready to finish this off, the fumes in the utility building got to be too much. Irene came out and said, well, dinner's ready, so I went in and had dinner, and it's tomorrow morning. Well, this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and finish hooking this piece up. I just have to be careful not to over tighten this. I don't want to split the PVC fitting because it's going into metal. The next piece is I need to put a union somewhere in this line and then connect up the line that goes to the check valve down below. That's going to take a little bit of time. So it's mostly a matter of doing some test fits, some measurings, making sure I have it exactly right. I think I'm probably going to put that union fitting in here. It makes it easier to gain access to it. Now I'll be able to take this thing apart if I need to. I have a union on the Y straighter that I just put in, and the check valve is right there that you probably can't see, but that's right there. So all I need to be able to do is make sure I can pull this out. It means I just need to have something here. So I'll go ahead and cut this off, put in the union, and finish hooking it up. Now this is on the suction side, so that means that I don't have to worry about a lot of pressure. So I'll be able to put this back online probably within 10 or 15 minutes of me getting these pieces of PVC glued together. So we'll get on with it, and I'll bring you back when I'm done.